Hello, this is the Pokefax podcast. You can call me Pokefax. And we will be talking about the Hisuian boss Pokemon. We will not be talking about any boss fights that are 1, past the first credits, and 2, are just normal trainer fights. We will be talking exclusively about the Lord and Lady boss fights. So, let's get into it. Up first, we have Clever. So, Clever's the easiest Pokemon to defeat, as all you need to do is have it run into one of the walls around the arena or in the tree in the center. Once that you do that, you can send in one of your Pokemon to fight it. I highly recommend having a water type on your team. You may have picked the water type Oshawott, but another good option would be Weasel, as it is a water type, so you can use it very easily and very early on, as it's one of the Pokemon you catch when you're talking with either Akara or Ray. But that's the easiest way, in my opinion, to defeat Clever. Up next, we have Lilligant. So Lilligant on my first attempt, was quite hard to beat, but once I got a hang of it, it was quite easy to beat, and I beat it. Now, the first thing you're going to need to know is when it's doing its jump kick attacks, you have to dodge it before it hits the ground, which is easier said than done. If you hit the Y button too early, it'll just somehow manage to get to you, and you'll get hit immediately. If you hit the Y button too late, well, I think you can tell what would happen there. So you have to hit it just on time. And then when it starts doing those green ring attacks, go closer towards it. It might sound a bit dumb, but trust me, it's gonna end up in your favor. Now, Lilligant is a grass fighting type. Oshawott is not good here, but Rowlet is. Rowlet and Cyndaquil are better starters for this fight, but if you want to have a fire power, you can catch Ponyta. If you want to have flying power, you can catch. You already at this point have to have caught a Starly. So, if you can either use one or the other, or you can use both. Or if you picked Rowlet, you can catch the Ponyta for fire power, and if you picked Cyndaquil, you can use the Starly for flying power. But that's the easiest way to defeat Lilligant. Up next for our third boss battle, we have Arcanine. Now, Arcanine is a rock and fire type. So, for the first parts of the boss battle, whenever it does its charge attack at you, you dodge that. And when it's doing its fireball attack, I suggest you hit it as many times until those fireballs go away. Because if it hits, it's an undodgeable attack, and it's very powerful. But once you get that down, you can send in your Pokemon. Now, in this one, it's really no competition who's the best. It's Oshawott. Since Oshawott is a water type, it is 4 times super effective against Arcanine. Rowlet, I guess, coming at as second best because of its fighting type that it would gain at this point. But it would be very weak to fire, and if it got hit with fire attack, it will go down immediately. And, well, Typhlosion's not gonna be good in this fight. While yes, it would resist its fire attacks, a rock attack would knock it out real quick. Yet again, you should add a Weasel to your team so it can knock it out. Though at this point, you could also add a Basculin for your Basculegion if you really wanted it. Or you can just catch a Growlithe and use rock type attacks on it. You will resist all of its attacks. It'll resist you, but you can resist it. So it's not like anyone's really got an upper edge that much in this battle, hey? But that's the best way, in my opinion, to defeat Arcanine. Now, up next, we have Voltorb, and its warden's personality is just like the boss fight, aka very tedious and annoying. Of which the only way you can really defeat Voltorb is by dodging, and once it wears out, throwing in your Pokemon. Now, none of the stars are going to be good against this thing. Literally, I'm pretty sure the only thing that would be at least half decent would be like Typhlosion and Decidueye, but they would not be hitting it with but Typhlosion would be hitting it with super effective fire type moves, but it would not be that good against electric. And Decidueye just resists it all, and if you picked Samurott, you're not gonna have a good time. The best way, in my opinion, to defeat this thing is not by using one of your starters, it's by catching an Ursaluna, of which is a very powerful Pokemon that once the Voltorb gets hit, you can practically one-shot it. But that's the best way, in my opinion, to defeat Voltorb. And for our fifth boss battle with a Lord Pokemon, with a Warden, is Avalugg, aka the most horrifically sized Pokemon. This thing is humongous, but to defeat it, you cannot hit it with your bombs while you're fighting it. While it's shooting attacks at you, you have to wait until you can send your Pokemon to get it, of which dodge like your life depends on it, because this thing is a beast. It's the hardest boss fight in the entire game besides one other Pokemon, of which I will touch on in a second. Now, the best way to defeat Avalugg once you get it down a bit in HP is to use a water type. I really could not think of any other way because it's a ice rock type. Both types are very easy to defeat when they're not together, but when you put them together, oh boy, you're gonna be in a hecking situation that you never wanted to be in, because those two types together are either your best friend or your worst enemy. And since you're against this thing, it's gonna be your worst enemy. So, the best way to defeat it is send out a water type and hope to goodness that it outspeeds. Because if it does not, you're gonna be in boiling water. Ironic, really. But that's the best way to defeat Avalugg. It's not a very fun boss fight. And for our sixth and final boss fight, yes, for once in Pokemon, it ends at 6 bosses instead of 8. Plus the Elite Four and the Champion. We have Dialga or Palkia. Now, in case you're curious on what I mean by Dialga or Palkia, you can pick which one you want to fight by either picking Adaman or Irida. If you pick Irida, you fight Dialga. If you pick Adaman, you fight Palkia. I think. I'm going to be going with that. And I'm going to be going with the Dialga boss fight, as that's what I fought. I can't really say anything about the Palkia boss fight, as I have not fought it. Now, the best way to defeat this thing is using a combination of what you've learned before and putting it to use. What you learn with Avalugg, aka dodging at the center of the circle, dodge it now with Dialga when it does a circle attack. That ring attack that we learned from Lilligant, use that when it does its ring attack on you. And that ball attack that Arcanine was doing, yeah, you're gonna have to utilize that one too, as Dialga has that. And that's the best way to defeat Dialga. And the best Pokemon to use, I don't really know, but that's what worked for me. Just throw out something, a fire type preferably, and you will be fine. Now, that's all I have to say. Please like the video, and have a nice day.